Okay, so now that we got it kind of rough shaped, we're going to continue on. What I'm going to do is remove the guide or my template right off the piece. I'll set it aside for a second because I will use this later in my presentation. So I'll put it over here safe. Even though it's wet, it still will get sticky later. And then we're going to take a look at it and see. Yeah, it's pretty good. There's a little bit of high side on that, so I'm going to go ahead and touch that up a little bit. The thing about the stone, if you remember, there was a little black on one of the ends and some black, which was some imperfections in the stone. I've got those out, so you can see that it's pretty well green all the way around. So this is a solid crystal piece of Chrysoprase. So I think I've got it to where I want it now, and I'm going to start forming the radius around. And the key is to make sure that as you grind it, that every time you grind it, you do the same movements over and over, and it kind of repeat itself. Like if I grind it 1, 2, 3, then I'll rotate it 1, 2, 3, rotate it 1, 2, 3, rotate it 1, 2, 3, and then I'll get that. Or I can go in here like this and keep an eye on the edge and see how far down I cut into it. And I kind of like that. I want to keep the daub stick nice and perpendicular to the feed when I feed it into the wheel. And the reason I want to do that is that it will keep that angle nice and consistent all the way around. If I rotate this up and down, you can see it automatically changes that angle of address, and I don't want to change that. So I want to keep this perpendicular to there, and that's what I'm trying to concentrate on, as well as looking at how far down am I cutting. Okay, so you can see where I'm starting to create this little line, this concentric line that goes all the way around. And I want to make that nice and even and consistent all the way around the stone, so that I know that I have the same depth and the same angle of that where the bezel's going to lay up against. So that's good. So when I do this, you'll see that, and maybe this is a bit about life. You can see there's like a little line. It's really hard to see, but I can see it. That inside ring I'm going to now take that, and then every time I make another ring, little a concentric circle, I'm going to keep taking it down, 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 further and further and forward. So I'm going to try to drive that line edge down and hold it consistently, and just rotate it around. Now that's going to create another inner line, and I'm going to now try to get that one. And then I made an inner one, so I'm going to try to get that one now. And then once I've got that, I do a little dance here and try to get it to where it's all shaped out. About these wheels, when I'm cutting or grinding on them, I want to think about using the whole face of the wheel. And the reason why, because if you don't, you're going to wear out one end or one side of it if you stay there. And you want to make sure that you wear your wheels out consistently so they'll last longer over time. Often I have to replace new wheels because they begin to lose their grind, the effectiveness of them, and I'll just go ahead and get some new wheels and put them on. Usually I do it when I do a major cleanup and clean everything out. You can see, I mean that's just a gorgeous green. Look at that. So translucent when you look at it. It's like a piece of jade almost, but it's not jade. And I'm going to go to the next wheel. This is 280. Do the edges first. So these wheels are mostly just for shaping. They're not really polishing it, but they are shaping the stone. Once I get into this side, I begin to do less shaping and more polishing, and you'll see that as we go along. Right now it looks like it's really polished, but it's not. It's still got some. If I was to let it dry, you'll see that it's still kind of rough on the surface. What I don't want to leave is on there. I don't want to leave it flat on the top. I want it to be a complete dome across, and you can see it. I can see it that there's still kind of a flat on top. So I'm going to try to get that by coming from the center and going down. Go up and down on the side. Up and down this way. Up and down this way. Up and down that way. And usually once you've done that, you now it's nicely domed and there's no flat on there on the very top. And once it gets polished, you can see that flat. Okay, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it dry a little bit, take a look at it, and see if I need to go back to these other wheels. Turn that off, the motor off. I love these CabKings. They're the best. And then turn my pump off so the water's not going anymore. You can see I'm down right now. It's starting to form the cabochon. And then what I'll do is I'm going to start my polishing steps in a minute, but I want to let it dry and then take a good look at it under a magnifying. Okay.